Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show where I learn a little bit more about somebody else's perspective on movies. And I have a very special guest, filmmaker, to talk about his film, Space Goblins. Ams, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it a lot.
Absolutely. And I got a chance to check out your film, which was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. If you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit and tell the audience about your short film.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Ams Overton, and I co-created Space Goblins with my best friend HTB. That's his
Mhm.
alias anyway. And we actually started it in 2016 or
Okay.
2015. Sorry, 2015, and we got it finished in 2016. But we didn't do anything with it for quite some time. And it's only been recently that it's been finding its audience, and it's the most amazing feeling ever.
Mhm.
So, and I'm so happy about it, and I thank you as well for reviewing the film, and I'm
Absolutely.
very I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. Um, yeah, so it's a space opera short film sci-fi epic. But yeah, so it's about two goblin brother bounty hunters,
Mhm.
and it's like a day in the life type film where they're just going on their next mission, and it's kind of like a really down to earth story, but set in a
Mhm.
very high concept world. So I think that's the best way to put it.
Absolutely. And I think that was one of the more interesting aspects of it because obviously it's very much a genre film. You're diving deep into, you have goblins, you're in space, and you have all these elements. What was the influence to, tell this story of these two brothers that, kind of just dealing with their day-to-day stuff and just in a strange world?
I think I think Gib and Gob, that's the names of the main
Yep.
goblins. I think it's slightly based on the relationship with me and my best friend.
Okay.
Especially because he talks a lot like Gob, so
Yep.
he'll love it. He'll love it that I said that. However, yes. So my main influence, because I was the animator and I came
Okay.
up with the characters. I drew them in a college class actually, just
Okay.
randomly doodling, and then because I studied animation, and I didn't complete my course. However, I learned a lot, and it's because I just wanted to do my own thing. I just instead of sitting in class, and kind of learning all this stuff that I don't believe I needed to learn. I was like, I just want to go out and make my own animation. And so with Space Goblins, it gave me the opportunity to learn as I was going along. Um, my main influences is I think it's really quite obvious when you watch it, like stuff like Total Recall. Uh,
Yeah.
so the yeah, the bar scene actually, many people compare it to Star Wars, but I'd never seen Star Wars before making Space Goblins. So
Interesting.
although I was very familiar with the bar scene, but my influence was Naked Lunch by David Cronenberg.
Interesting.
I think you might be familiar with that film, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
So I just like really offbeat and weird humor. Whereas with Harry wrote the script, and I think the two just gel together so well
Mhm.
with my like kind of creepy designs, I guess, and his very on the point script. It was a match made in heaven, I believe.
Absolutely. And what was that experience like working with your best friend creating something like this?
It was so funny. It was
Yeah.
when he because we recorded all the lines on our phones at the time, and this was back in 2015, so the quality would not have been that great, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was inspired because he voiced Gob, the main goblin, and
Yep.
he was mostly inspired by I forget his name. Is it Hoggle from Labyrinth?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
So he kind of borrowed that inspiration for Gob. And when it came to Captain Rhodes, when he was doing that voice, we were both in the same room. I had to run out of the room in order to laugh while he was recording.
yeah.
So it was really fun, and like every day we'd spend together. He was staying at my apartment because he lived quite far away, so in a farm, so he would stay over for like weeks sometimes, and we just got down to it. We just every day we were just drawing, and then he just came up with the script like within I believe like a week. I think he had a lot to say, and
Yeah.
he came together. It was the best feeling ever, and I hope that we can. I've been trying to rekindle that relationship, that working relationship with him for a while now. So I'm hoping that he'll come on board for the film. So
Awesome.
the full length.
Well, and it's such a big undertaking trying to create a film and everything. And when you could do it with somebody that you trust and that you have a good connection with, I'm sure it's a very exciting experience. And obviously, this is around like 26 minutes or so. It kind of feels like this could have just been like the pilot to like a show or something like that, or it's like some type of series. Did you have a specific kind of vision of where you wanted the story of these two goblins to go?
A fantastic question, actually. We initially planned to make it a TV series, like a YouTube
Okay.
series. Um, it just never panned out after all this time, and I think that's why for a while we didn't do anything with it because we were kind of butting heads creatively. However, it
Mhm.
never stopped us from being best friends.
Yep.
I wanted to do one thing, he wanted to do another. And then looking back, all my ideas were terrible. No wonder he didn't want to do it. So it just didn't work out. And yeah, so, but in a way, because I believe, especially now more than ever, that many things happen for a reason. And the fact that we didn't do a follow up made it more special in its own way. And it kind of keeps it to the imagination, to the audience. It's
Yeah.
like, what if it was a series? And however, now I am working on a full length feature, which I have his blessing, which is very nice. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping to get him on board because that will
Yeah.
just make it extra. So, but
Obviously, being able
excellent
to share
question.
that experience
Yeah, yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
I show him everything that I've been working on, so he's in on the loop, and he loves what he sees. So, which is
Awesome.
for me brilliant. Yeah,
Well, and that's the thing too, because obviously you have what really works about this, even though it could just be like, the start of a series, but it feels like it works as this little capsule of these two guys' life and dealing with these experiences. And you get a sense of like, this is what their life is like, day in,
yeah,
day out, chasing crazy space pigs at crazy bars and stuff like that. And it was such a fun time. And I appreciated the like fully commitment of this feels like a very specific type of world, but then it's so specifically relatable of like working a job and just being there with somebody on a day-to-day basis, the conversations that you
yeah,
have. Um, you know, I growing up was usually like the quieter person. And, we all have that friend that's more the talker and stuff like that. And that kind of experience honestly kind of reminded me of my relationship with my wife. She could talk with anybody, and that
yeah.
kind of experience is a lot of fun. And I guess my last question specifically about the film, obviously, you have this animation style and it looks like I guess what were some of your influences and how you wanted to visualize this world?
It's a really good question. So actually, I have the answer. I do have the answer. One film that stuck with me since I was a child was a film called Star Chaser: The Legend of Orin, which was like a Star
Okay.
Wars animated ripoff, supposedly a
Mhm.
ripoff, but
Yeah.
but I love that movie, and I think it drilled into my brain all these years, and I always wanted to make something like it. And I know, of course, Space Goblins is nothing really to that level, of course, because they had like a huge, great big studio and all the budget stuff. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to do something as I learn animation. So I wanted, instead of sitting down just to learn, I just wanted to actually actively create something. while I was doing it. And as for my influences as well, I actually came from doing horror artwork. I was horror illustrator, mainly doing like, kind of gruesome designs for
Yeah,
metal bands and stuff, you know. So I
nice.
came from that background into Space Goblins. And one thing I would like to add as well to what we were discussing about before, about why we haven't followed it up, is
Yep.
another reason is because it took me a long time to realize it myself, but I realize it now. It's that I didn't want to do the same thing over and over again, but I couldn't see it at the time, and it
Yeah,
wouldn't have the same charm. So I think that's why with the full length I'm working on now, it's called Space Goblins again. However, it's completely different, even like the tone of it and everything. But it borrows the heart from the animation.
absolutely. And I think that's an interesting point too, because this feels like it could be just a slice of like a procedural, these two bounty hunters and stuff like that. But it does have that charm of this is that specific day where, feeling a little bit reflective of your experiences and stuff like that. And you can feel that in the story. And from like an animation standpoint, like I grew up in the 90s watching a lot of like 90s animation and stuff like that, and it definitely reminded me a little bit of that. And even like some of the like even just like the outside of the bar made me a little bit of, I don't know if you're a Monty Python fan or not, but some of those like strange Terry Gilliam animated sequences and stuff like that. And I think it has a bit of an interesting mixture of a little tiny bit grotesque, a little bit strange, and all this science fiction elements mixed into it. But no, this is a lot of fun. And I'm a big proponent of short films and trying to get people to check them out because I feel like a lot of people just write them off. It's like, well, it's just a short film. I'm like, well, yeah, what's your excuse? This is 25 minutes. I am sure you've binge watched like 10 episodes of a show before. Just
Exactly.
watch this fun little film, some fun characters. It has a creative world. But yeah. So I always wrap up my discussions with filmmakers of so if you had one reason that you had to tell people to check out Space Goblins, what would it be?
It's bounty hunter goblins in space, man.
It sells itself.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go. Perfect. I appreciate
Good
that.
question.
Now, where can people check out the film?
I've just put it on YouTube for everyone free to watch.
Perfect.
After your review, I just kind of realized, you know what? Just post it online, and it's there. It's there for everyone on YouTube. It's also available on Foursome,
Hmm.
and it will be getting a Blu-ray release early next year.
Yeah, it will be available on Blu-ray early next year with lots of bonus content and in its most beautiful form. And yeah, it's available on YouTube.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. Before we leave, can I just show a special preview for your watchers? So
Sure.
here's Gob,
Nice. It's fantastic.
and then also is the other one, Bounty Hunter Gibb. There we go.
That's
They're real.
awesome.
Yeah, I just had to do that. So
That's a really great practical effects there. Those are it's really cool seeing them like brought to life in
yeah,
like a practical sense.
right. It's by an artist called Mark Hansen. I have to throw his name out there. He's absolutely incredible. He brought my characters to life. So yeah,
That's awesome. And I'm sure that was a special moment where you got to see them for the first time and just very
especially when there
special.
was an actor, my good friend Brain, in full costume right next to me as Gibbs. I'm like, oh my God, this is 10 years ago. I would not have ever imagined this,
It's real. It's right
Yeah,
there.
that's
But
right. That's right.
Ams, thank you so much for coming on and letting me get to know you a little bit more and also getting a chance to talk about space goblins.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for enjoying the movie. Uh,
Of course.
if there's anything you ever need from me, feel free to ask. And it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. and I look forward to talking again. I hope.
Absolutely. Well, I would love to have you back on when the feature film is ready to go because I can't wait. It'll be a blast. But
Thanks.
thank you again. And thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.